We're now joined live from our Abuja studios by a legal practitioner, Mr. Silas Onu. You're welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
60 years after independence, how has the judiciary fared in your assessment?
Well, to begin, I would like to, first of all, disagree with the introductory position of this program. I would like to say that the judiciary actually performed better under the military government than under democracy. And that was why we witnessed indiscriminate dismissal of judges, because judges were bold to give judgment against the state, against the military government. But since 1999 that we came into this democracy, we've had a handful of judges that were bold enough to take a stand against incumbent government. I'll take you to the 2003 presidential election. We had the then Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Muhammad Lawal Uwais, who was bold to take a position against the incumbent government and said that election was rigged, but wasn't enough to cancel that presidential election. And for that purpose, he didn't get the normal celebratory dinner they give to retiring chief justices. And his name is still intact till today. What we have had since 1999, I don't want to talk of the military era because we actually had some of our best judges during the military eras. But since 1999, what we've had in Nigeria are mostly judges who are even better politicians than the politicians that are card-carrying members of political parties. They look above their shoulders before they give any judgment in cases. You find that we have a judiciary that have been hijacked by judges. You see issues of elevation is unconstitutional. There is nothing like elevation of judges in our constitution. But you find a judge move from High Court to Court of Appeal to Supreme Court. They have turned the judiciary into their private industry. Now, I also listened to a senior advocate in the course of this program who said the best lawyers would not want to join the judiciary because of the unattractive package. I disagree. Lawyers every day want to become judges, but they are blocked. The judges who are inside now control the NJC, control the FGSC. They will not let you come in. So we will continue to have an analog judiciary in a digital age. That is what we have. Presently, we have a Chief Justice that is controversially said to have altered his date of birth. There was a case in the High Court of FCT that suddenly died. Someone went to court challenging the Chief Justice for altering his date of birth. You shouldn't have such stories coming up in the judiciary at all.
Now let me come in here. If I may come in.
The justice sector.
If I may come in, Mr. Ono, the judiciary is one of the arms of government, definitely, but do you think it's been accorded that respect it deserves in terms of its relations with the executive and the legislature?
Well, for you to earn that respect, you have to be willing to also perform your duty without fear or favor. The executive and the legislature that disregard court orders do it because they know they will get away with it. They will go to another judge who will give them a contradicting order that they will use and say, hey, we have another order saying we shouldn't do what the other court have ordered us to do. So the judiciary itself is its own problem. You need to put your house in order before you begin to say others are not respecting you. This Executive Order 10 that is even controversial now, I find no need for it. Who interprets the law? The judiciary. If there are cases of lack of respect for your orders, have you committed anybody to prison for contempt? We have cases where executive will willingly and publicly disregard court orders, what has happened to these people? Nothing. So as long as the judiciary does not deploy and use its powers, everybody will trample on them.
Okay, so therefore,
Soon,
what can you say
ordinary
about...
citizens
what can you say,
will even begin to disregard court orders.
Therefore, what can you say about corruption in the judiciary?
Oh, that one has become the mainstay.
In a second.
Corruption in the judiciary has become... It has become like a party. It's a buffet. When you find judges now lobby to become members of election petition panels, it tells you that they are not doing it because they want to dispense justice. It has become business. You find judges lobbying to get appointed into some panels in some states that are considered juicy. Come on. Judiciary that we have now is more or less a business institution. We need to have a holistic reform of the judiciary. We need to have a total turnaround. Because as we are today, as a legal practitioner, you appear before a judge, you know your laws, you know your facts, but you are not even confident that you will succeed at the end of the day. Not because you didn't present your case properly, just simply because you do not have the financial muscle. Today, you find litigation, civil and criminal, litigants preferring to go for certain kind of lawyers. They'll tell you have to be a senior advocate. Even among the senior advocates, you have to be a well-known senior advocate. It is not because you are the best lawyer, but it is simply because you are one of those lawyers that have reach and means, that can get around, talk to judges, bend the rules, bend the law, and have judgment. That is not what we are supposed to have today. The country
finally,
is
let's
bleeding,
quickly ask you this
and
question.
We must reform our judiciary today.
That's taken now. But what do you think of the position of the autonomy that the president wants to grant the judiciary?
Does the president have power to be granting autonomy to arms of government that are already autonomous? The judiciary is already autonomous. All that is required is for us to implement the law as it is. I heard the vice president saying that no arm of government is truly, completely independent of the other. That is wrong. In the performance of their core duties, they are completely independent of the others.
In this case, we're talking about financial
Basically,
autonomy.
we're talking about financial autonomy.
Yes.
When we talk about autonomy, it's mostly financial, right? Now, what did the Constitution say? Pay the money of the judiciary directly from the consolidated revenue account to the judiciary. Why are we playing politics with it? People have gone to court to get this section of the Constitution interpreted. What did the judiciary say? Did they enforce any of the provision of our Constitution? They play around with it because they'll tell you, you cannot give order against the president. The president is too powerful. You cannot give judgment against the president. So as long as you are afraid of giving orders against the executive will continue to trample on you. This money does not belong to the executive. The money does not belong to the legislature. The money belongs to all arms of government.
Thank you for your thoughts.
And they have to stand up and fight for their right. So the president cannot grant them financial autonomy. They already have it.
Thank you so much for your contribution on this issue. Mr. Silas Onu, a legal practitioner, thank you so much for coming on the News at 10.